Good evening, everyone, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale. And I am your host, Larry Cox, and I am glad to be here with you guys this evening. I've had, excuse me, a little bit of a tough time getting going here tonight. You guys know how this goes. Uh, I was having technical difficulties getting going here. I had everything up and running, and then all of a sudden, she decided to die on me. And guys, that happens. I'm going back through here and changing some settings right now. Messed up on me when I'm doing that, so I had to change my mic over just now, my camera settings. So you guys are doing that. But I'm glad to be here this evening. Last week we took the holiday off, but I'll be honest with you. If I hadn't taken the holiday off last week, I wouldn't have been on. The last 2 weeks I have suffered a big bout of bronchitis. I'm still not over it all the way. My voice is a little scratchy still right now. Have had a tough go of it the last couple of weeks with the coughing and just not really feeling good. I've been doing half a days of work last week, and so we're going to do our best tonight to give you guys somewhat of a show, and then and I'm going to give away that final Chromebook tonight. So Ken and I, with the Rockdale Voter, we are giving away our final Chromebook tonight. So here in a little bit, I'll be doing that. So that'll be the way it goes. So let me go ahead and say hi to there's a bunch of you guys tuned in tonight, and I'm glad to have you guys on here. Mary Boysworth, good to have you. George Kellycheck, great to have you on here tonight. Lisa Lancaster, great to have you. Danielle Munoz, nice to see you, Danny. Great to have you on the show. Charlotte Geller, great to have you. Judy Bond, great to be here. Marie Withers, Bill LeCount, great to be here. Bill Campbell, great to be here. Cheryl Moulton, George Kellichek, Tina Hobbs, Jill Oden, Angela Esperero. I think that's everybody that's said hello in the chat, and I'm great to have you all guys join me tonight. So, I've been down and out a little bit, I've not been able to do a lot here recently and really pay attention to what's going on. So, you guys want to throw some things out there in the chat you'd like me to talk about. Do not have a problem with that. I've been, like I said, I've been under the weather, not had a really time to focus on some stuff. People have been reaching out to me about a lot of different things. I've had candidates reaching out to me that are going to run for office. I've talked to several candidates here in the last few weeks. Ben and Cheryl Garcia, great to have you join the show tonight. Voices for Rockdale, great to have you join the show tonight. But I've had several candidates reach out to me. A close friend of the show, Judge Clarence Cuthbert, he reached out and made his intentions known that he intends to run for. He's now our state court judge. Judge Robert Mumford will be retiring at the end of his term. Judge Clarence Cuthbert has decided he will be running for Superior Court judge. I couldn't think of a better person, I think, to fill that position. Judge Cuthbert is fair, balanced, impartial, and will go by the rule of law. Not to put a lot of personal opinion in. That's the kind of person we need on the bench. We need people on the bench who will not politicize it, who will not make decisions based on political ideology, but on the law. And they will not create law from the bench, but they will rule on law from the bench and not expand, decrease, or create law. So Judge Cuthbert is going to be a great person to run for that Superior Court position. The show here this week from Rockdale is definitely going to support Judge Cuthbert. And as far as the Rockdale Voter has supported Judge Cuthbert in the past and will support Judge Cuthbert moving forward. Because Judge Cuthbert is the kind of people we need running for office in Rockdale County. And that's what we need to know. Lisa, I did hear, ask if anybody else was going to run. I did hear that the juvenile court judge intends to run for that office. And I'm not going to discuss those things yet, but I'm going to, later on at some point, I'm going to discuss why I feel other people get in the race and who puts other people in the races. So, but I will be discussing that at some point, because a lot of times I think when you get these people that are just thrown out of left field in these races, there's a reason they're thrown in these races, and there's individuals who back those individuals and coerce them into running for office. So we're going to talk about that at some point during the election cycle. You will get my opinion and spiel on it all. Because, as you guys all know, I'm not embarrassed to tell you my opinion on how things are going in Rockdale County and why people do things in Rockdale County. Because I believe there are a lot of backdoor shenanigans that happen in our little old Rockdale County. So, guys, let me do something real quick before we talk about some issues and you guys throw out there what you guys would want to talk about. We're going to reach in the jar and shake it all up and hokey pokey and all that and twist it all about. And I got one ticket. Anthony Bellis. Anthony Bellis is the winner of a new Chromebook. So, Anthony, you will be getting a email and phone call from none other than Ken Holmes. I will be letting him know that we've got that drawing that happened tonight, and Anthony Bellis is the winner of our third and final Chromebook. So, like I told you guys, our next item will be a firearm. I will be acquiring the firearm. We'll be putting that out there and doing that, and then hopefully by this fall, Ken and I will have all of our ducks in a row, and you guys will be able to participate in a raffle for a brand new vehicle of some kind as we get the details worked out. But that's an ambitious undertaking, is to raffle off a vehicle. Ambitious undertaking. But at the Rockdale Voter, we're gonna attempt to do ambitious things, because we think that doing the out of the box, the not normal, is what's necessary to be able to have an impact here in Rockdale County when it comes to elected officials and what's going on. So, we've had several people already declare they're running for office. They've filled out their declarations of intent. They're out there stumping a little bit, pre-stumping here. I think things will get really serious after Labor Day. So after Labor Day, I think that'll start off the official campaign cycle for the primary, even though candidates don't officially register until the first week of March of 24 for the primary, for local and state elections. That's when that'll happen. Now, we have very few state elections, like public service commissioners, if they get all that ironed out. But it will mostly be local and federal elections that we have going on in 24. Congress and all of our local stuff. So locally, we have almost everything on the ballot here coming up. We have 2 commission posts. We have all of the majority of our judges. We have our sheriff, assessor, tax collector, probate judge. We have all those things that are on the ballot this coming year. We have the board, 5 of the 7 Board of Education members. Our good friend Justin Kenny, who just got appointed, I know he's going to be running again. I spoke with him, talked about doing his declaration of intent here at the show and at the Rockdale Voter. We're big supporters of Justin Kenny, so we're going to be right behind him, putting him back on that board, because he's already made an impact and come up with common sense commentary and bringing common sense points out. So that's what we want to do here. What the show is intended to do. The show is intended to be able to bring a voice to you, the citizens of Rockdale County, and to a lot of these candidates. So we're going to have a lot of these candidates will be coming on this show. And they're going to be able to tell you what they want to do, and especially what they want to do and how it will impact you, the citizens of Rockdale County. And that's just what it needs to be. I like a couple of comments. Cheryl, Rockdale County needs to, Molten Cheryl, Rockdale County needs to flip the switch on positive changes. And we do need to do that. And a big way we do that is at the election box, is electing different candidates, electing different people to office. And like I've said, and I will continue to say, with the political climate in Rockdale County the way it is, the way to do that is in the Democrat primary in May. Because if you win the Democrat primary in May, you are going to win the general election. You will 99% possibility be unopposed. And if you are opposed by a Republican in a general election, then these are the numbers, guys. This is a 70-30 county right now, maybe even a little bit more than 70-30. That means it's 70% Democrat, 30% Republican. So that means in a general election, the Republican ultimately has no chance of winning in a general election. The numbers actually, when the county becomes over 55%, when the county becomes 56%, that's when you take out that ability of the opposite party, whether if it's a 50% Democrat county or a 56% Republican county. The party that's 44% and below has virtually no chance of winning a general election. So, but that primary election is a different beast in fact, because people just for some reason don't like to participate, or they just have, they want to participate in the big November, but they really don't think about participating and voting in that primary. So this is what you've got to think. When we vote in that primary election, and we vote as a collective, if Republicans, Democrats, independents, whatever you consider yourself, you vote in that primary and you vote in that Democrat primary, then that's a big voice. It's a very big voice, because you can swing that election with small numbers, because small numbers tend to turn out. We have an anomaly in 2020 when we had COVID, and we had the presidential primary, which we're at the presidential primary this year. It's going to be in March in 24. It's not going to be held the same time as the general primary in May. So we're going to have 10 or 12,000 people that are only going to turn out for that general primary. And that's combined of both parties. So if you just throw party affiliation away, just go vote in that Democrat primary in May, you have a good chance of defeating incumbents. Just throw away that party stigma. Just go vote for candidates that are in the Democrat primary. But that's how we change Rockdale County. It is definitely how we change Rockdale County, is by throwing away party stigma. And I'm basically preaching most of this to Republicans, because Republicans are the ones that have to get over party stigma. Yes, you can vote in the Democrat primary in May, still vote for who you wanted to in March, still vote for who you wanted to in November, but make a difference locally in May. It's what you do, because that's what matters. What matters is what happens to us locally, how our taxes are impacted. Guys, we're facing a critical time in this state's history with what's happening with property taxes in this state. And Rockdale County is no different than the rest of the state. We are being impacted dramatically by these fake property values and these fake assessments, because that's what they are, because none of this stuff is worth what they're saying it's worth. It's just on paper so that they can collect additional funds to waste money. I've said this many a times. We don't have a money problem in Rockdale County. We have a spending problem. We have a spending problem. That's what it is, a spending problem. We need to realize that we have got all the money in the world. We need to do something. I'm going to mention something again. I'm going to mention the SPLOST. One of the reasons I opposed the SPLOST this past in 20 was because I knew it wasn't going to be spent properly. First, it wasn't introduced properly. But we found out that the SPLOST that just ended was $40 million over projected budget, what they expected to get. This next SPLOST is going to be 40 to 60 million over expected collections. Add the two up, that's 80 to $100 million over expected collections. Look at what they say they want to do with a courthouse administrative complex. Just with the overage funds in the past two SPLOST, we could have taken care of any judicial building needs that we had with SPLOST overage. Any additional, any needs that we would have had for a courthouse complex could and still can be handled with SPLOST overage. We could do revenue bonds, use the SPLOST as the payment source. Done. That's not what this Board of Commission wants to do. They want to exploit the citizens of Rockdale County. They want to get their hands on those overage funds, do whatever they want to do with them, and they want to get some additional bonding capacity through this PFA, and then spend all that. So, guys, this is ridiculous. I think somebody had told me, Cheryl asked, any news about the PFA? From what I gather, there's nothing about a PFA, and I heard there was an answer in some sort of email the other day that they didn't intend on doing anything about PFA funding until the fall of 24. Now, guys, I think y'all that may coincide with things that I've said. They're going to talk about all this stuff, do things that they can do without pulling the trigger on this funding until after the elections so that they can slide back into office. That's what this is about, guys. It's what it's all about. Let's pretend we're good for a little bit. Let's try to do some decent things and not do as much controversial stuff for the next 12 months or between now and June. Let's try to 24. Let's try to pretend we're not who we are, so we can trick the citizens into re-electing us, so that we can immediately go back to being the morons that we are and have always been. Right after we feel safe that we're going to get our seats back, and then we can just take advantage of you and abuse the hell out of you again and trick you into re-electing us. That's what that's about, guys. They're gonna play these games and soft pedal a bunch of stuff. Not do the PFA until the fall of 24. Of course not. If they start doing that stuff now and in the springtime, Lord, that would be so much press, so much negativity. People would swarm to the ballot boxes to kick their asses out of office. But they're smart enough to know they need to let that sleeping dog lie till after they trick you into re-electing them. And that's what it is. They're going to trick you into re-electing them unless we stand strong, stand firm, and give these characters their walking papers. It's up to you. It's up to you, the voter of Rockdale County. Do you want to continue down the road that we've been with this incompetent bunch of clowns? Or do you want to get out, vote, make a difference, and put an end to the tyranny that we have been facing in Rockdale County? It's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. So somebody did ask if Justin was running as an independent. Pamela Lowry. When you run for Board of Education, it's a nonpartisan position. So there is no party affiliation. So that is a position that is determined in the primary, just like the Superior Court judge position will be determined in the primary, because it is not a party affiliated position. So the Board of Education is nonpartisan. Judges, except for magistrate and probate, are nonpartisan. State court and Superior Court judges are considered nonpartisan positions, so they will be determined in the primary. Even though these Democrat primaries will settle the general election, they don't officially get elected until November. But like I said, 99% of the time they are unopposed. The only time we've had a local Republican oppose, I opposed someone in 2018, and someone opposed someone in 2016. We've not had we had one person a local ballot in 16, one person local ballot in 18, and that's what we've had since then. Let me take that back. Jenny's, there were two Republicans on the ballot in 16 locally and one in 18, and we did not have a local Republican on the ballot in 20 or 22, and I do not foresee a local Republican being on the ballot in 24. So that's why it's important for people who identify as Republicans, who intend to vote in the Republican presidential primary and they intend to vote for Republicans in November. It's important for you to vote in the Democrat primary in May to actually have a say locally and to make a difference in those elections. Because if those conservative voters do vote in that May election, they will impact and change the outcome of elections. That's just fact. The votes are there for that to happen. The Democrat Party doesn't like it, and those Democrat candidates don't like it, those incumbents. Now, the challengers, they're very much aware of it, and they want you to come out and vote for them. But those incumbents don't want you to. They don't want you to do that. So that's what they want. So guys, I know you guys have not come up with a lot y'all like me to talk about tonight. I'm really not feeling good. So I appreciate you guys if you just tolerate my ranting and raving here for the last 25 minutes, giving away the Chromebook, and just like what I do usually is I bash these Democrats that are in office that don't represent you or me. I bash these incumbents because they're not representing you and me, the citizens of Rockdale County. They're not. They are just not representing you and I. And we've got to do something. Got to get out and vote. Got to get out and make a difference. We can do it in May of 24 by unifying and voting together. Thanks, guys, and I will see you next week. So be good, be safe, and remember, you can make a difference in Rockdale County.